spinal extension warm up. So it starts off, we're going to do a segmented spinal extension. There are three sections to the spine, as you may know. There's the cervical spine, your neck, thoracic spine, which is the middle of your back, the parts of your back that are connected to ribs. And then there's your lumbar spine, which is the part below the ribs until the sacrum, to your hips. So we're going to take each of those sections and we're going to extend, open up, and back to neutral, 10 reps. Starting off with just the cervical spine here for this first segment. Whew. Already getting crunchy, feels 7, 8, right, 9, 10. Just the cervical spine. Now, thoracic spine only. And one way to help isolate the thoracic spine is to make this L shape, pointer finger to chin, thumb to sternum, and you're going to lift that pointer finger and then bring it back to neutral. Lift, back to neutral, lift, back to neutral. Notice I'm inhaling as I come up, exhaling as I settle back. That's 5, keep going. Much less movement here with this thoracic spine portion as there is in the cervical and the lumbar. That's okay. It's supposed to be that way. Like I said, this is the part of your spine that's connected to ribs, so there's just more bony connections, and it's got a natural curve in. If you notice the natural curve of the spine, the thoracic part curves in, whereas the cervical part curves out, and the lumbar part also curves out, right? So even if I'm taking my thoracic spine into quote unquote extension, I'm trying to extend it, it's not actually becoming curving the opposite way, it's just getting less rounded. Okay, so just feel for that as you go. Last one here is going to be the lumbar, getting into that part that we're so often taught not to extend. Same with the neck. All right. But healthy spine, these joints are meant to move. Every disc in your spine is a joint. Well, the space between your discs is a joint. And so having access to movement across the entire spine gives you a healthy body, strong body, a bulletproof spine, and access to some pretty cool moves. So now that we've done 10 reps of each of those sections in isolation, now we're going to put them all together. Coordinated spinal extension. And notice I'm growing up and back at the same time, starting with the neck, moving through the thoracic, finishing in the lumbar. There we go. Starting to open up. Ooh. 10 of these. Keep the heels on the ground for now. In a moment, we're going to start to challenge the balance a little bit. Now we're just looking for some bending. And you can track your extension by seeing how far you can, what point you can reach with your eyes. Woo! Every rep gets a little bit deeper. All right, to 10. Okay, now we're going to do 2 exercises. First one is going to be that same type of movement that we just did, except now, now we have a target. Here's my target. I haven't actually tried to do it to this target before shooting this video, so it might be a little low. But you're gonna experiment with your environment. You can stack some elements that would stay to build yourself an adequate height target for you to get to touch with the back of your head. And then from there, same thing as before, except now we're going to add the feet, the heels lifting up. That's not bad. To accentuate this extension. There we go. So taking a few reps to get used to the balance as the heels come up. All of a sudden the balance starts to be a major factor in this movement. But that's good. Wow. Standing back up. You can do 10 reps like that. And then, I'm not going to do all 10. I'm just going to demo. And then you can explore on your own. Could go fast, could go slow. This tends to take me a while just because my body has a lot to learn. My sense of balance is not used to understanding or feeling safe in this environment. Back here, so I'm going real slow and controlled every time. As you move through subsequent rounds, it speeds up, and eventually you're gonna also lower your target. So that's the first of this superset that we're gonna do to finish off this warm-up. The second is called a diagonal step back. Here's the setup. Front foot 45 degrees, planted, flat foot. Then I'm going to draw a line straight back for my back foot. Back heel is lifted. And as I rotate around, tap somewhere on the back leg, I'm going to kick off that back foot. So the point here is to continue this work of extending the spine. So we're going to go up and over, tap, come back in. This line here between my shoulders, hips, and that front heel is more or less a straight line. It's the axis of rotation. One cue I like for this is imagine the earth on its tilted axis, 23-degree tilt, right? That's how we get seasons. Like my 6-year-old is learning right now. This is also how you get seasoned in your movement. I just came up with that on the spot, in case you couldn't tell. So we're going to do 10 reps here. 10 reps. Say we've done 10. And then switch sides, same thing. Same setup. And now, with this axis of rotation, the key is to go up and over. All of this adds up to creating space in the front of the back hip. So as hip flexor as I come around, using the power of my own musculature, and make a nice big long line all the way across this diagonal functional line, up and over. Significant amount of balance happening here as well. So you have an option, if need be, to start off. Let's go ahead and plant that back foot, and you're going to make the same 45-degree angle, just opposite, just to start, just so you can feel the mechanics of that rotation opening in the front hip. And as soon as you've got that, you're going to add the balance in. As you get proficient with this, you're going to make a bigger, a longer stance. Whoa. To stand on. So we've got one round of the segmented and then the coordinated spinal extension. And now you're going to do 3 rounds of the 2 exercises that I just demoed. Extension to target, 10 reps. Diagonal step back. You're going to do 10 reps. And remember, and notice again, very important, you're spinning to the side where your front leg is. So in this case, my left leg's in front, spinning to the left to get my right leg behind me with my left hand. Boom, back in, boom, back in. 3 rounds back and forth. Should be about 10 minutes total, and then you're ready to rock.